Thank you, Dr. Andrew, and I would like to invite the invitees or the speakers, and I would like to also invite Danny Wazin, the one who's in charge for the digital transformation, to start the conversation with the alliance representatives. And I would like to thank all the attendees from around the world and also all the organizations as Cisco, Coursera, Vodafone Egypt, and Cisco, Microsoft, Dell, Intel, and also the Ministry of Education, Higher Education in Egypt. I would like to thank all of the representatives here, and hopefully we can get shared and with the information. And also, we would like to thank Mohammed bin Zayed for University for for AI.
So, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for your time today and for coming to this very important meeting, session, and skills coalition. So, in our second segment for the session today, we are going to go through the challenges of the skills gap and how we can altogether create an opportunity out of this skills gap. We gather all here from governmental representatives, private sector, think tanks, academia, CSOs, and other institutions to discuss together on how we can harness these opportunities and address these challenges. So let me start first by very quick numbers and challenges from the region and globally. This one? Okay. So if we want to start by looking at the challenges, first of all, the unemployment rate in the Arab region, we see a big gap between the Arab region and the world average. If we look very closely on the male, 8% of unemployment compared to the 5% on the global average. More challenge is on the female, 18% compared to 5% on the global average. On the segment of youth between 15 and 24, we have 25% compared to 13%. As a total, the Arab region lag behind on a 10% compared to 5%, and this is an enormous skills gap, especially if we want to embrace the new job market. Another challenge that we look at is the youth in employment, education, or training. Youth who are not in employment, education, and training. So it's the same parallel trend that we look in comparison to the world. Hence, 27 million, around 27.5 million of Arab youth are not employed or getting training or getting in education. And the line is almost steady. So the rate is not improving, and this is another gap or challenge that we want to address. On the skills landscape, so if we look at firms in the Arab region that offers training, there are only 14%, as per the World Bank data, 14% only of the firms offering training for their employees. And this is a big challenge. And 44% of the employees are receiving training to update their skills and embrace the market or embrace the jobs. So 50% of employees in the Arab region are considered undereducated and are not ready to embrace the new emerging work fields. Another interesting number is out of the 673 million jobs being studied and projected to be lost or created in the future, 23% are not there, so 152 million jobs. 60% of workers globally will require formal training before 2027. So imagine more than half of this room needs to be trained before 2027, or they will be out of jobs. 44% of workers' core skills is expected to be changed in the next 5 years. So in the next 5 years, 44% of the skills are changing, and that will require training. If we deep dive into the nature of the skills required, so we have 4 types of skills. The soft skills like communication, the basic skills, critical thinking, and others is like the top gap are there. If you look into the numbers from Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and UAE, almost 77%, there is a gap. The second that comes after it is the business skills, like project management and other skills related to business, and then followed by technology and data skills. So a resilient workforce needs a combination of multiple skills, like soft skills, technology skills, business skills, in order to face these challenges. So we need to address all this variety of skills. We looked into the data, so the 10 fastest growing jobs that are demanded and that we need to support. Number 1 is AI and machine learning specialist, sustainability specialist. Third is business intelligence analyst, information security analyst, fintech engineers, data analyst, robotics, big data, agriculture equipment, and digital transformation specialists. These are the top 10 fastest growing jobs demanded. So how are the students, what are the students' perspectives on the value of professional certificates in finding jobs? 90% of students around the world agree or strongly agree that if they earn a certificate, it will help them to secure a job. So in addition to their traditional training or education, they believe that additional certificate will help them secure a job. The Arab region, they even believe more. We reach a level of 97 or 98%, and that will push us to think through this coalition how we can build programs in order to support the education of the youth. More like on the value of professional certificates and the professional success, like while you're working, if you earn a certificate, will this help you to progress in the job? 91% of the Arab countries, the 3 Arab countries that we surveyed, represented 86% of students globally agree that if you receive a professional certificate, it will help you advance in your job career. That's a big number. Also on choosing the degree in the university if it has an additional certificate program. So again, the Arab students, more than 77%, will look into universities' degrees where they have additional certificate program that will enhance their capability in order to embrace the job market. And that means they look into the educational system, the traditional education system that's mainly outdated or does not respond to the job market. For the employers, on average, 88% of employers globally believe that professional certificate will strengthen a candidate's job application. So they will look into the job application and see if they have professional certificate. And 72% of employers more likely to hire a candidate who has a professional certificate. And that's what's the objective of this coalition to push forward. We looked into the job payments. The top paid jobs is on computer scientist, followed by financial manager, software developer, web developer, and marketing research analyst. I will pass now the mic to my colleague Hani to speak more about the future skills.
شكراً داني. بصراحة أنا دلوقتي هعرض لحضراتكم نتائج مبادرة مهارات المستقبل للجميع.
We speak about the initiative of skills for the future to everyone, and I have the immense pleasure to have the indexes that we do have the motivation for all of the learners to complete the program. Our program has divided into 3 programs, which is transferable skills, and the entrepreneurship skills, and also the hard skills, which is linked with the workplace or work market. The most important 10 programs for the students. It was the data analysts and cybersecurity and artificial intelligence, soft skills, fresh graduate pathways, data engineers, and the entrepreneurship mastery, and also project management level 1. So these programs, how did we create it? So we created these programs. We organized 4 workshops within 4 Arabian countries: Iraq, Jordan, Morocco, and Egypt, so that we can listen to the expertise point of views, and also to build these type of programs based on their recommendations and based on the expertise's recommendations, and also from the UNDP and also from Coursera. And it is known globally that the rates of completion of these type of courses, and specifically that they are free of charges, that do not exceed 12% globally. And we do have programs that does not have one course, but it is a group of courses that would shape a learning pathway. And the most important learning pathway that contains 4 or 5 courses. So if we do have the cumulative completion does not exceed 1%, and this is the result after 1 year of collaboration. The collaboration and the memorandum of understanding that we have signed within 1 year, we would have 9,902 learners from the total beneficiaries reached after the signature. And also with the collaboration of Coursera, that the learner, after they are done with the program, there will be a replacement of a new learner, so that there will be a shared benefit from the previous learner. And we had a utilization rate of 165%, and the programs completed was 15,198, which is 153% instead of 1% on a global scale, or 12% for each course. And also the hours completed that would exceed 15,000 hours. And also the assessment has been exceeded 250K tests that has been conducted. All of that has been done within a course of 1 year. And this wouldn't happen if we didn't have the collaboration and the international coordination. For example, like Vodafone Egypt, Cisco, and Mohammed bin Zayed for Artificial Intelligence University. And we would look into how they have assisted us with the completion of such a program, and also with the collaboration of Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, a knowledge foundation, to make it as a academy of the future skills. And we have identified the most important gaps with most of the countries, for example, especially for the countries that has great geographic sizes, and also to look into the skills and how we can develop it. And it is very important to have a great education system without interfering with the internal systems. Number 2, that we are trying to improve the academic level from the programs that is being provided to the students using the AI, which is already been provided within the platforms such as Coursera and so on and so forth. And number 3, which is very important and critical to us, so all of the content that we are taking is from outsiders, from outsider companies and outsider entities. So I would suggest, and I would prefer, that we do have our own capabilities within our Arabian countries and Arabian region, and we will create such content from our Arabian countries with the utilization of the Arabic language, so that the learner will be linked to the surrounded area that they are living in, and also with the collaboration of the private sector and also the industrial sector and also the learning systems. So we will provide and we will get into the learner or the graduate or the youth to be more linked and interacted with the workforce or the work market. We would get into the global scale, not only for the national scale. So we would look into the graduate to work within their own countries, because we know that if the capabilities if the capabilities that they are there, but if there is no workplace, workforce, work opportunities, then the capabilities won't be working at all. So we will get into the competency, the competition, not only on the national scale, but also on the global scale. So this was the introduction of the challenges as numbers and how we did reach to these type of results through the program within a course of 1 year. And we have opened the registration of the Future Skills Academy, and the sessions that are being provided, it will be as a discussion with my colleague Danny, so that we are done with our part, but we want to listen to you, listen to your expertise, listen to your experiences, so that we can create a collaborative communication, discussions through you, through your point of views, and how we can improve. I will hand the microphone to my colleague Danny.
So we pass for our set of questions. We will open the floor to hear from you. You are the skills partner, consumers, or learning providers. We've heard about the gaps, the challenges in the Arab world specifically, and in the world. We've heard from Hani the different approach of addressing skills gap. So for you, what are the reasons for the skills gap in the Arab region, or in your country, or in your region? Is it the same? What are the different reasons for the skills gap? And how can your organization, your country, measure this gap? Because measuring is very important, and how we can address it once we measure it. And from your point of view, what will be the most important skills required for you, or for the Arab region, or for the country, and why? So we would love to hear from you, your experiences in addressing skills as a learning provider, please.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أول شيء شكرا. Panel we have it today. I will speak in Arabic and English, and if you prefer in English, it will be fine. My name is Nasser Al-Fazari from British Academy in Oman, and also HR expert in labor courts in Oman. From perspective of human resource management, if we speak about countries as a cross, it will be not fair. Okay, each country has their roles, their policies, their systems. Let's say, as an example of Oman. Oman, yes, it has new policies now. Human resource law just recently has been applied, and this is big, huge management. Now, there is laws as well, plus there is a skills as global is moving very fast. AI, one of it. Everyone talk about AI from sudden. Okay, so are we ready? The question, or the answer, no. To be logic, how to be ready to fulfill these gaps? Do we have the percentage of unemployment high? We might say equal, it's all right, and we cope up. The government doing strategies, and they try to cope up. But soft skills, let's say as one simple thing, CVs writing. Can you imagine GCC, they don't know how to do CVs? I did some surveys, and how to draft a CV. Medicine doctors, they didn't study soft skills. Sometimes they are very aggressive with patients, okay? And one of the issues we had, we don't have doctors can join the institutes, so for 5-6 months. And the reason was soft skills. They couldn't market themselves, okay? They are talented, 99 plus and so on, English very well, personality very good, but they have gaps. So we have to define which sector as well we need to fulfill the gaps. So the main things, soft skills. Later on, the AI technology can come up, but policies as well changing very quick. and also the academic, very traditional academics in universities and training institutes, it's very slow moving on. Also train and develop the academic staff and the trainers as well. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And the soft skills is part of transferable skills. So soft skills, the employer can take it from one job to another, and that put more importance on the need of soft skills and to train them. Thank you very much for the intervention. I will give the floor first. Yeah.
أنا أتكلم عربي. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Dr. Ehab Al-Masri from Ain Shams University. As regarding your question, because what are the reasons of having a gap? We have a big problem at the level of high school or university. We are concentrating on knowledge rather than skills. But when I come here to United Arab Emirates, the situation is different. So even the university education, here we are focusing on skills. I was participating in book fair in Sharjah, and everyone was focusing on skills and acquiring skills. But the second part, can the Arab countries reduce the gaps? So it's not about the traditional examinations and the traditional assessments. I have been participating in military, and we were carrying out assessments for militants and people working in military. So it's not about digital transformation. So I ask you to accomplish a task, but it's not just about having a 3-month training, but I need to apply the skills, to implement the skills. And what are the most important skills needed? The most important skills needed in marketplace. So we can say the Faculty of Commerce in Ain Shams University, you have about 100,000 graduates every year. And then we have only 300 graduates that got job opportunities. So we need to have language, to have computer skills. So I have one experiment in Saudi Arabia. We worked there 5 years ago. We have here a preparation year. They are equipping these students with skills for 1 year. They're equipping with their language and skills and computer skills, because we have a student with a degree and he doesn't have soft skills, he doesn't have presentation skills, and also it's not necessary to get a job, but he can have a startup company at least. Mona Ghandar from Abdullah Al-Ghurair Foundation.
That you shared. Just have one question when it comes to looking at the skills gap, which is the question that you were asking. I want to understand, how do you define the gap? Because at least like the way, for example, we see it at the foundation is, if we're working on upskilling individuals, then we start with what are the jobs in the job market, and then what are the gaps in terms of the skills. So was this part of the initial mapping that you did to identify those skills? So that's the first question. And then the second one was, I was just wondering if there is another layer where you will look at those 6,000 or more users, what has happened to them after they've completed those programs, where they're at now. Has it really impacted their employment status or not? Thank you.
طب اسمحوا لي أجاوب على أستاذة منى.
Allow me to answer the Mona question. So the skills gap has 2 definitions or 2 levels. We have a skills gap in the curricula, in the educational curricula, that should be related to the marketplace. If we don't have such skills integrated in the curricula, so we are looking for skills outside the curricula, and we need your help to to make a definition of the skill gaps. Regarding the students that have got our training, we have about 25 graduates of our program in the next hall. And also we have learners who are following up those learners after they have been graduated. So we have finished about 1 month ago, but part of our plan is to follow up those learners and to see the impact of their learning in the marketplace. And we have some cases that have got jobs in their marketplace, and they are displaying their success stories in the next door hall.
Some of the initiatives that has worked on, which is what is the role of the AI in creating such an initiative, and what are the close gaps that has been working on as the AI generative systems. My name is Salah Ahmed. I am from Palestine, Gaza. I am the one who founded Hub, and I really thank you for the initiatives that you have working on, and we have seen the tangible effects that has happened within Gaza. So we saw the people who are using Coursera and so on and so forth until they have gaining again, they have gained back again the electricity and also the internet access. And we have seen within the war results as they are working right now as freelancers, and Gaza is being presented as a conflict area, and the economy is unstable right now, and we do need such initiatives so that we can understand the main gaps, which is the curriculums and the learning curriculums, and also the skills that are demanded for the marketplace. And the second point, which is the language barrier. We wanted to have active members within the science, specifically within the IT. So most of the courses are within in English, which was a barrier for the most of the people within the Arabian region, and also to the other parts of the world. In addition, that the technology is rapid. It's rapidly changing. As we are talking about the AI, there are demanded skills within other parts of the countries. We were escalating, and we were also looking into what are the gaps. We can't find people who can close these gaps. If we found people within the Arabian countries within the course of a year or two, we do need an engineer, or we do need someone within the machine learning aspect or the big data. If we didn't find these kind of people, we wouldn't have happening to close these type of gaps. So, and also looking into the surveys. Surveys are very important, and I have noticed that in our work that people are leaning to the skills that they are gaining from the science that is gained from fast-paced nature. For example, the motion graphics, graphic designs, or business skills. They are gaining these type of skills from these type of aspects, so that they can get an online work or online work opportunities. And specifically, we are speaking about the programming. Programming takes at least 6 months, so there will be a follow-up. The other aspect, which is the learning platforms, most of it, they do not have mentors. So that follows up with with a very critical point on how I can have a feedback upon my learning skills, my gained learning skills, and how I can reflect it within the workplace. So this is something that we are working as an initiative, and I would recommend that to integrate between the training skills within the workplace and also into recruiting, so that they can be recruited remotely or outside the country. Thank you very much. Firstly, I want to thank Mohammed bin Rashid Knowledge Foundation for this great initiatives, and I want to thank you on behalf of me and behalf of Cisco and the great opportunities that has been provided to the youth. These opportunities were really great. Sometimes we can see its effect within a course of 1 month or 2 months. Most of the interns, either in the workforce of Cisco or the accounts that is being provided to the youth for the other aligned or alliances countries, we would like to know, and we would like to thank all the efforts that has been provided by other entities, and we will get into the initiatives that you have also launched, which is the Great Alliance for the Future Skills, and it is really great to have the dynamics of the workplace. It is rapidly changing and is rapidly developing. That, as you have mentioned, Dr. Hani, that we had to identify the gap, and the gap was the curriculum, the learning curriculums that is being provided in reflection to the workplace or the workforce or the work market, and also to identify this definition. It was the rapid change on a negative basis to the workplace or to the workforce, and is being developed on a yearly basis. So who's the person who's being held accountable? Who's the person who's responsible for it? Is it for the freshly graduated people? Specifically, for the rapidly changed professions. For example, the designers and developers. Today, there is someone. He dedicated 5 years of his life to study the coding. Right now, we have zero codings, unless if there is a specified system or a mechanism that we can provide or develop their skills, or even to try to recruit other people. And also, we would look into the social responsibility or a niche market that is being provided to them, because after the graduation, each person are responsible for their development is a self accountability matter. And there are a lot of people who are jobless because they are not skilled enough to be in the market. So I think this type of alliance, as a coordination with the other large organizations, will identify what are these type of gaps, and how we can follow up with this rapid change, and also to look into what are this type of social responsibility, because it's our own responsibility at the end of the road. So, and also to have a role to upscale these leaders, to provide these type of chances to the youth. And I think that there's a corporate social responsibility between the communities so that we can collaborate within this matter. Thank you very much. I do have a small comment. Cisco organization, they are the most people that they had benefited from the courses, as Dr. Sari has mentioned, that they are the whales, as she has mentioned, they are the whales of the courses. And there's also another point. They they have completed for approximately 1,000 course. And I have doubted that she is torturing its people to take these type of courses. But but I won't lie to the people. I won't lie to the statistics because of the data that he has mentioned before. But we would like to know what are the forms that the workplace will be taking in the course of 5 years. We will get into the ideas and how to be interchangeable with the workplace and the workforce, and what are the rapid changes that they are taking place. Because we can't have any estimation without having these type of data. My name is Dr. Muhammad Gabr. I am an entrepreneur in the AI automation and expert in it. So I will comment for the people, for the person who spoke from Gaza within the aspect of language of Arabic. The Arabian language is very important, and I have an experience for teaching for Jais that if they can continue or not continue, so we can give them the idea of the cognitive functions. But if the person can't proceed, then it's. I'm sorry, the microphone has cut out. So the first point, which is that Dr. Andrew has spoken of today about the global indication, and my job today won't be for tomorrow and won't be for after tomorrow. I have made a career shift for 4 times, but within the umbrella of IT. So the idea was that how we are preparing people, are we preparing them to be entrepreneurs or freelancers? As the global scale they are speaking of, or they are going into the direction of entrepreneurship. And we are saying that there are a lot of people, a lot of capabilities, so and so, and within our experiences with the ITI, and also for the Mohammed Balashi Foundation for Entrepreneurs, that how can the youth are working into their minds. So there are a lot of people, a lot of youth are finishing a lot of courses, but what is the preparation for this type of youth? Have you made a great algorithm? Have you made a great programming language? The main issue here, or the main matter, which is what is their direction at the end of the road? My own point of view, it's not about the soft skills. It's not about the business, or it's not about the entrepreneurship. It's about the indication. It's about the preparation for each person, for each individual. So the entrepreneurship, it's there in Algeria, in Egypt. There can be a collaboration, and also to recruit these type of youth, and also to let them know and let them be prepared as an entrepreneur. Maybe the entrepreneurship will be in a certain field today. Maybe they'll be in a different field tomorrow. And until this date, I'm speaking about myself. I have I have to spend each weekend for 16 hours what is happening within the AI events, so that I can understand what are the new trends. I'll try to open my notes app. Give me a second. So there should be a collaboration between the private sector and for the entrepreneurship entities, and also to the governments, not not to have a freelance in the result of it, but the idea of what he can be one day within the entrepreneur. He can do something valuable, so that they can build bridges between the gaps between the Arabian region and within the Western countries. So if we looked into the scope of the global organizations and our own organization, I think we will build these type of bridges. The last point, which is the demands of the skills, about the soft skills and the coordination between public-private partnerships. And I thank you very much for your time.
Nizar Sami, UN.
My name is Nizar Sami, UNDP in Egypt, and I'll speak in Arabic. So I think that the scientists within the history, uh, within mathematics or algebra or so on and so forth, they had the great science. They had the great science, and they had the great key. And there has been a lot of changes within the course of history. So I think, from my own point of view, within the workshop that has been held in Cairo. I think we are doing this so that we can be prepared for a great workplace or work market. But the question here is, where is the vision? So we will get into the push and pull mechanisms. As UNDP, we are pushing. We are pushing towards people. We are pushing into Mohammed bin Rashid Knowledge Foundation, which causes a critical mass. So we do have a supply and demand relationship, but the work opportunities we do have various forms. For example, we do have the employers such as industries and entities or companies, and also to have the idea of a freelance work. So if all people have the culture of freelance, who's the people? Who's going to be working as an employee in the hospital or university? So we have to ask ourselves again, what are the purpose? What are the purpose of the workplace or the or for the work opportunities that's being offered around the workplace or workforce? We are having this idea of minimum cost. I would like to have someone who is qualified, or someone who is freshly graduated. It's not a magical wand. We do not have a magical wand for such a vision. So this vision should be there within the industrial workplace. As the Arabian countries, we want to have a vision. We want to have a spotlight for specified professions. Maybe it will be a unified vision. We will get into the industrial aspect. It would have an excellence aspect or excellence workforce. And the second point, which is who's the person that you are speaking to? We do have Alpha generation and Z generation. What are the learning aspects, the learning methods that they are using, and how they are receiving the information, receiving the data? Maybe it can be something that, for example, technical. Maybe it can be something defining skills, defining the capabilities. If you do not know it all, you can't leave it all. So we would like to build the basic, the foundation. If we can have some foundations to look into the workplace or the work market, for example, if you do want a computer or a laptop or a mobile, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. So that we should be looking into a formula. What is the formula of reaching out to all of this? Are they the employers? How they will be represented? Or the third point, which is the absence of a role model. For example, when I look into the teens or the kids, they do have role models within the great aspects, but not all of the role models are scientists or the celebrities or the content creators. They are not scientists. They are not someone who wants to be aspiring as an engineer or someone so forth. So we do not have an Arabian scientific role model for the teens, for the kids. So that we should be highlighting all of the scientific workplace, the scientific scientists, Arabian scientists, around the Arabian aspect, either in the Arabian countries, global countries, or the universal universities. Thank you very much.
Dr. Sharif Keshk, assistant for the Minister of Higher Education. I would like to thank you for such an initiative. And I'm going to talk about some points. The first point is that we shouldn't be concerned with the skill gap, because it will continue and we'll have a skill gap all the time. But what happened is that the average and the volume of the skill gap is increasing. So based on one statistics, that the most required and needed skill is adaptability. And when we talk about the initiative, we have many elements. We have the content and the delivery and measurement for improvement. I think that the content, I'm not concerned with the content, because the content are there and it's very good. But what I'm suggesting here is about delivery. And also we have a student who is interacting with a content, But what if we have intervention from the industries? Because we are talking about the skills and not knowledge. If we keep this content into computers, this would be knowledge only. But if we have interaction with industries and we make a connection between the content and the industry, and we should have a simple amendment and modification to the delivery, so we can study it and we can add that's what we can add to the initiative. If we look into our students' performance, we can divide them into three sections. We have very outstanding students with strong motivation. Even if I didn't support him, he will develop himself. And 10% has no motivation. But 80% of the students, which are the average, this is my target audience. This is the strength. This will be driving the train. Those we should bring them into the classroom, but I should so every time I should provide him or them with the skills. And one of the main outcome of this initiative is to have a mechanism to develop a framework of instruction inside the classroom. And we can come out with regulations that will be generalized across the region. And also, we are making some adjustments after the graduation. No, we should do this before graduation. Once we have a sound framework, so everything will be right later. If you didn't walk today, you will have to run tomorrow. And thanks for your initiative, and I wish that our comments will be addition to your initiative.
Hello, salam alaikum, kif halek? It's only that I know it's from my Arabic. Fabian Basade from Mexico. Congrats, and thank you for do that kind of event. I think that from my point of view, the problem is not the digital or literacy or AI literacy. I think that the problem, it could be the bias first, the second one, the ethics, and when you use AI, and the third one is try to form people in think in different way, not in one way.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a nice session here. I'm based in Dubai. I'm a resident of Dubai. I would like to say in common that the new generation should not be technologically oriented at upfront. They should go from the deep roots, right? And then your mindset shouldn't be focusing about saying like Arab region or the culture. You have to be cosmopolitan. If you see, Dubai is a place where you can find at any time 190 plus country people around. So your skill set should not be copy and paste. Like you went on ChatGPT and you did something and then you're doing that experiment like we do in the schools. No, it should be with your practical deep roots and the task where you should be able to even analyze and evaluate when there is no technology in front of you. Suppose the internet is not working, so you should know the plan B. So that is the more specific area I can add on. And the practical experience and the hardships. So I also say that every new child from the infant age, he should learn writing by hand from the blackboard, not by just giving the digital gadget in front of to read from an iPad or something, so that they will not able to write in the future. And then the language, what he should write, should be globally. And his skill should be diversified. So tomorrow, as they were saying that there were so many coders and there was no job. So if his talent was multi-talented, he could have done some other job, right? So technically you will, as you grow senior in the company, the CEO becomes CTO, CTO becomes, so because of the expertise, governance, technology-oriented people cannot, they can do the innovation is fair, but to how to run in the market and governance and go with the requirements with the global institutions and the corporates and the end users is different. That has to come with expertise.
طب لو سمحتم بس عشان الوقت هيداهمنا.
Sorry, because time is against us. So let's listen to Vodafone Egypt. Vodafone Egypt tell us about their experience for developing the skills so we can learn and we can handle other questions. Let's hear from Vodafone Egypt. مساء الخير.
I'd like to thank Dr. Hani and the team at UNDP for the marvelous Knowledge Skills for All program. I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Shahdan Aram, the head of Vodafone Egypt Foundation. We started this year a pilot phase for the Future Skills for All on a platform that we've launched previously. It's called Ta'alimi. Ta'alimi is an online platform that's available online in a web form or an app form. And we currently have 2.5 million Egyptian users on the app. We started piloting the program in which we took two pathways. One is the transferable skills pathway, and the other one is an entrepreneurial pathway. We customized the courses to cater for our target beneficiaries. And we targeted mainly startups, founders of tech startups and other startups in order to test the program. I think there is a huge potential with our 2.5 million users, and we will be looking forward in the coming year to launch phase one officially on Ta'alimi platform and integrated on it. Thank you very much, and I'm available for any questions after the session. Thank you.
If I may, I also see MBZ UAI also participating here. Maybe we would like, sorry, to ask you to hear about the executive AI program, like very quickly, how you are supporting the governmental institution in artificial intelligence. So if we can hear a little bit about the program and how the university is supporting this.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Danny, for spotting us on, actually. And in fact, I think as a participant, Danny, you should have more takeaways than we do. We're from Mohammed bin Zayed University of Artificial Intelligence, together with my colleague Naveen here, and we are the world's first university focused on artificial intelligence only. And currently, we established since 2021 and now entering our 5th years. And we proudly having the programs like currently have masters and PhD students, and we graduated more than 400 students already in the past 4 years. But more than that, in fact, apart from the regular program, we also run the professional training, which is our programs of professional training, which Danny is part of our cohort as well. So far, in fact, the program has trained more than 1,700 executive professionals across UAE already, especially in the executive and the decision-making level across different departments, as well as mostly state-owned enterprises. But we also had the very first international versions launched last month in October. This is a short course. In fact, we see a surge in demand in terms of like the knowledge around AI, just to understand what industry leaders as well as leaders across business across the globe are really eager to understand the technology itself, as well as the impact on different industries. What does that mean when the wave of AI actually hit different industries and different areas? It's not only help them predict the trends in terms of business-wise, but also manage the risks as well. but also manage like what, in terms of like job skill sets, they have to train their employees as well as prepare their entry levels employees. In fact, I myself was in one of the summit last month in Tashkent, one of I would also see as a growth regions. The very first question, in fact, when I landed in the country, I was warmly welcomed by two undergrad students at the airport. They were asking me, it was like, oh, what are you coming for? What sessions you'll be speaking at? I was like, AI. And the very first questions I got from that undergrad lovely girl was, is AI gonna take my job? I think that was kind of like the eagerness, but also mixed with anxieties as well from the youth and the young group we currently have across the globe. This is, I think, MBC UAI is quite proudly and committed our resource as well, and working with UNDP together in this joint initiative in terms of like creating the platforms, providing training, but also launch on the AI for SD platforms as well, trying to apply the more ready AI-empowered technology, but to solve the global challenges in terms of more like agriculture, in terms of like natural disaster, as well as sustainability growth. So we are here as well and welcome more discussions after the sessions. And thank you again, Danny and UNDP team colleagues.
Thank you very much.
عشان آخر حاجة في قصص النجاح قبل ما ننتقل للسؤال الأخير.
Before we get into the last question, we do have Mrs. Taqwa. Mrs. Taqwa, one of the successful stories within Cisco. We would like to listen from her. What are her experiences? What are the challenges that she has faced? And I think this is one of the things that I can do for you.
I work at iCisco. So basically, I was responsible for the project that we did with the UNDP. I was responsible for harassing Dr. Hani and the entire team with the UNDP and Mohammed Rashid bin Salman, bin Maktoum, sorry. Basically, we had a lot of challenges, but at the same time, like we had great results. So what we did basically is we have our member states, and we had this opportunity to take these licenses that the المؤسسة وال UNDP gave us. So it's like a lot of licenses that we gave it to our employees at iCisco. At the same time, we gave it to our member states. So we picked students and were interested in developing their careers and like their skills. And what was hard about that is it was having like two points and two parties to be in the middle, of. So it was challenging because we had to get all this data from one side and give it to the other side, and it was just challenging. However, at the end, it was just in the beginning, the challenges. But when we got the project to start and it was going extremely smooth, at the end, everyone had a lot of certificates. Everyone were very interested, and also the people were excited to have more certificates and develop their careers even more because they use these skills and what they learned in their jobs as well. And at the end of the day, it was a great project. It was an amazing project, to be honest. And I thank Dr. Hani a lot for being very patient with me. And the whole entire team, no doubt. Honestly, it was a great, great project at the end of the day. Thank you.
شكرا تقوى. معلش.
Thank you very much, Taqwa. Please let me get into. I do have Mr. Khaled. Mr. Khaled, he's one of the learners from Lebanon that they are faced. He has faced difficult and harsh circumstances that Lebanon are going through right now. Please listen to his successful story within this initiative. Please. So, firstly, I want to thank all of you. I have got into an accident with the year of 1976, and I was a military trainer. I had two paths. One which is to be depressed, or to shift this depression into strength. So I started to get into work, and I asked my employer to get back into work as an administrative. So this type of request took into 1 month within the year of 1999. So I have continued my studies, and I had the first rank within the science of politics, and also not taking as 1 month. I've been promoted. I've been promoted, and then within the year of 2019, there was a system or a device that I can manage and I can promote for, and I asked to resign from my workplace in order to program this type of design. And sadly, the revolution started within the year of 2019. And after the revolution, I wanted to apply for jobs, but as for my case, I was getting rejections. But I didn't get this into my way, and I had a lot of initiatives, and I have been bullied. I have been pathetic from a lot of people. I have gained a lot of pathetic visions from a lot of people, but I didn't get this into my way until I got into the initiative of Future Skills initiative, and I can't find words to represent my appreciation to such an initiative. This type of initiative have led me from my own prison to freedom, and the invitation of getting back into this type of conferences made me fly by my wings of knowledge and science to celebrate my freedom with you. So this type of initiative, it was one of the greatest things that has happened into my life. It made me excellent within the things that I have gained from experiences and the skills that I have gained from, and also to identify what are these problems, and to have critical thinking and solutions within these type of gaps and problems, because I felt like I'm a prisoner in a castle, and I can't get out of this castle from the pressure of the society and from the circumstances that I have gone through. And I've tried to think outside of the box, and I'm out of the castle that I was present. Success has its own worth, and the person who does not have the idea of the worth of the success, as if its life is not worthy of living. No matter no matter if you do have health circumstances, career circumstances, maybe I can be a role model for someone, but for the person, for the people who are disabled or people of determination, from the psychological problems, the mental health problems, the financial problems that they face, and specifically for the people of determination to get into, I invite them to get into and submit their application to Future Skills Initiative to be decision makers. And thank you very much.
Minding of time, the last question that we want to offer, so we are keen to hear your interventions. What can we do for the Arab countries to address the skills gap? So we've heard a lot. What, in your opinion, we can do for the Arab countries to address the skills gap?
مرحبا أول حاجة شكرا.
Firstly, I want to thank you, Dr. Hani, to get me the opportunity. I have submitted my application within this program or this platform within the previous year and this year, and we wanted to let the people benefit from the summit. I want I won't get into the idea of that this type of summit will be having more strength than the academia certificates and to work remotely and what are the skills that I can gain. But when I have submitted my submission, that all of the courses that I have got into, you will find the solution of this, you will find the solution of that, and I executed it. Now I'm a new person. So what is the thing that I can do, which is that all of the efforts within the Coursera or the courses that are being provided, I will get into, oh, guys, please get into the ideas, get into the courses and submit your requests, submit your learning requests. And I have benefited from the people that I have got into. And it will be more and more benefits that we do have knowledge, we do have the skills, we are not afraid from the AI and we can use it, and life will be simpler to all of the Arabian communities. So thank you very much, and please, I ask you to get into the Coursera. I am 49 years old, by the way, and I let my son submit into Coursera. But the idea is that all the people will benefit when they get into the courses and execute it. We can get into the certificates, and when you execute it, I'm talking to you with the execution level. And thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
My name Dr. Mohammed Nasif from Emirates Foundation for Healthcare Services. I thank you and I thank all of the organizers. And I like the analogy of the train. We usually want to cover the youth. We want to speak about the youth, and we want to speak about the digital learning and so on and so forth. And it's supportive, but it's only covered within the 20% of the people who are looking into. They are motivated for this type of opportunities, but the other 70 or 80%, they do not know how to socially interact with the others, and we should be looking into this type of issue. And we want to look into the role models for each entity. Who are the direct managers? Who are the people? Who are the expertise? I think the next step, the next level, we will get into providing scientific curriculums that they are based on the digital learning, so that the direct managers or the colleagues who have experiences, they can be benefiting from the others, and also to help other colleagues. We do have a lot of experiences within our foundation. For example, during COVID, in order to shift to the digital learning, there were a lot of difficulties that we have faced. So we try to search for the things, open source, for example, and the team, they are being learning new things, and we have making weekly meetings, how to learn, how to execute, and how to finish things. And it was something very simple, but we are speaking about the people, we are speaking about the discussion, we are speaking about the point of communication, which matters. So we want to have the structure of the seniors and role models, because they are very busy within their own work, because they do not have time to create such content. And thank you very much.
One more intervention in the back.
Good evening. I am a researcher. I'm Priya. I'm doing research in skills. So from my practical experience during the research, what I feel is that in the UAE job market, mostly the interns are getting converted into entry-level jobs. So during the internships and the projects, the skills are getting enhanced and students are learning. So before going for an internship itself, the children should be aware what are the skills that are needed and what are the job roles. And the job roles has to be clearly defined with the skills, so that they can better look for an internship which match their passions. Because once when you do an internship, you cannot again go back for an internship for a trial. So if we can build a skill index, it will be very helpful for the students. That is what I'm doing now. And it's practically a little difficult to get the skills defined and the job roles defined, because there is a lot of gap in the job descriptions that are presented and what is actually in need. So in that way, if we can do more research and build a skill index, that will be helpful for the students of UAE. This is what I have seen in my practical experience, and I would like to have to work with some research which is going on in this area too. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. One more word in the front, and I will come to you. Here in the front, please.
We can have alliances through cooperation with the Ministry of Education, and we can have a mechanism for cooperation with the Ministry of Education and also with Ministry of Higher Education and universities, and also we should have cooperation with the civil society or organization, and also we have an interest in civil universities, and also we have cooperation with the councils such as the woman council, because this is about being interest on the part of the women, so we can reach all segments of society. We can establish partnerships, including the private sector and the public sector. For example, we can employ the best employees or the best students. We can have partnership with oil companies, and also this would be through internships, so they can get job opportunity. Thank you for your intervention. So most questions are regarding that we are delivering education, but what about the job opportunities? So we can have cooperation between educational institutions and the private sector. My name is Hassan Abdallah from Somalia. I was one of the participants in the Future Skills program. When I examined the groups that were participating in the initiatives, I started to find people from Somalia, and were only 2 or 3 persons from Somalia. And once we finished the program, and I posted my certificate on LinkedIn and other platforms, so most of the people were asking me how you get such opportunity to get such a certificate, because Somalia has a problem with finance and financial resources, and they cannot pay for the cost of the course. And I direct them to the initiative, and the time of the initiatives was already closed. And I started to communicate. We have an alliance in Somalia. We have an alliance in Somalia or a union, and I started to convince them with the initiative of the future skills, and also to have courses from Coursera. And I think that Somalia can and ask those organizations to cover the costs of the program and initiative, and we need to find a representative from each country to be a contact person with the educational institutions, and also to provide those students with this kind of initiatives and opportunities. Thank you. I would like to agree what my colleague has said. He was talking about inclusiveness, because inclusiveness is important in the initiative, but we can have it more inclusive to include the people, the older people in age, or the people who can have access to technologies. And some countries, Arab countries, are suffering from such issues. And the second thing that I would like to say is to focus on success stories that can improve the productivity at personal and professional levels. And this would motivate the employers and to encourage the employers to have startups, and also to motivate the employees is to acquire such skills through such programs. The last intervention.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much for this session. My name is Jamal. I'm from an organization known as Project U, and we design programs and curriculums that focus on future skills, primarily social and emotional learning and project-based learning. My question is, essentially, the biggest challenge that we've come across when it comes to these programs and running these programs. Obviously, the gentleman mentioned that the three most important things in executing these programs are the content, the delivery, and the measurement. For us, the biggest challenge has always been the measurement, because it's easy to do when you're sitting with 3, 4 students. You're assessing them based on their social emotional learning, you're creating those skills indexes. But when you scale this, when you bring this to on a macro level, it's very difficult to assess soft skills, right? And I think the consensus in this room was that one of the most important segments of future skills are the soft skills element, right? So I would love to hear from anyone if there are any scalable solutions on assessing meaningfully, empirically, qualitatively assessing soft skills or social and emotional learning in general. And I think that would be a significant contributor into bridging that skills gap, because then you'll understand the amount of resources you'll need to invest in improving these soft skills or social and emotional learning skills.
This intervention, actually, I was going to mention this in my speech about the measuring the results or the impact. We have two things. There is a model for learning, of course, which is Kirkpatrick, and maybe you know about it, which is measuring the system for learners. But when it comes to soft skills, having like a talent of negotiation skills, it's not just the main objective. So how to use it, how to utilize it. So therefore, at the UNDP, we have what's called the IMM, the Impact Measurement and Management Tool. So this tool is much more broader, especially when you talk about macro scale. So I think if we can think together with colleagues in the IMM section, we can apply it, and we can just run a pilot with your organization to see how we can take it to the next level. Also through the Skills for the Development Initiative, I think with the academy and the coalition, it will be a very good like a model or a pilot to see the real impact, what it is. For instance, if I'm good in doing things, so how this will reflect into my career, what is it about job creation, how I'm impacting my society, and so on and so forth. So let's go for the IMM for this part and discover it in much more in-depth. Thank you very much, Jamal. Thank you.
We have reached the end of our session. Thank you very much for your insight. I will give the word for Dr. Hani to close the session.
شكرا ليكم وخدنا من
Thank you so much. It takes 2 hours, but we are looking for challenges and weaknesses, and how to address it, and how can we develop our initiative. And we have been listening to many things, and this is the first meeting, and we're going to have another follow-up meeting. And also we'll have people who or the content creators or providers. So the next step will be in February and January, in coordination with the offices of UNDP, in cooperation with the private sector and the governments and the beneficiaries, and to follow up with the beneficiaries and how they make utilization of such programs. And I'd like to thank my colleague Danny, and I would like to thank the participants who have completed the program and those who haven't completed the program yet. And I would like to thank Asir from Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum Knowledge Foundation. And I'd like to thank Mahmoud. I don't know if he's here or not. And Nasir and Mahmoud, they have sent more than 200,000 emails to the learners. And we'd like to thank Taqwa. Half of them are Taqwa. And I would like to thank all of you. And I promise you that we are going to take on your suggestions and wish that we reach up to 1 million learners to cover the needs of the Arab world. And thank you and wish to see you next year.